What would you do if your car suddenly roared like a volcano when you started it? Picture this. You hop in, turn the key, and it sounds like the muffler fell off on the highway. Nothing exploded. In many cases, it's just one small part missing. The catalytic converter. I'm Morgan Lane, a certified auto safety specialist. I spend my days digging through data and case files so you don't have to. Welcome to Recall Roadmap with Morgan. I combed through the National Insurance Crime Bureau's latest numbers and DOJ press releases, and the truth is bigger than a bad morning. Converter theft claims jumped from about 16,660 in 2020 to over 64,700 in 2022. One analysis says thefts are still around 21 times higher than in 2019. And NICB warns those are insured claims only. Many thefts never get reported. That's why you hear so many neighbors say, "My car suddenly sounds wrecked." Have you ever heard that from someone you know? Drop a quick Y or N in the comments. Today I'll show you why thieves want these parts, which cars are at risk, what it costs, and simple steps to protect your ride. Tap like if you want more safety-first tips. So why have these plain metal boxes become hot targets for thieves? Let's dig in. Exactly how many cars have been hit by this crime wave? Let's put real numbers on it. Based on insurance claims, catalytic converter thefts soared from about 16,660 in 2020 to 64,711 in 2022. In just the first half of 2023, one analysis counted roughly 26,000 cases. Another report put 2023 around 27,609 total. That's still about 21 times the level we saw just a few years earlier. And the problem isn't spread evenly. California and Texas alone accounted for more than 32,000 thefts in 2022. Dense cities and busy suburbs are magnets because there are lots of cars, easy parking targets, and more places to resell. NICB's David Gloy says it plainly. A converter can be removed in just a few minutes, but for vehicle owners, the cost is much more than replacement parts. I pulled these numbers from National Crime Bureau reports and local coverage, and the trend is clear. Even if certain places start to improve, the overall risk remains high enough that every driver should pay attention. The obvious next question is the big one. What makes these parts so valuable that thieves risk crawling under your car at night? To answer that, we have to pop the hood on the metal inside the converter. Inside that shiny metal box, what's worth stealing? The catalytic converter is coated with tiny amounts of platinum, palladium, and rhodium. Think of a ceramic honeycomb dusted with metals that help clean your exhaust. Here's the shocker. Those metals can be more valuable than gold. As of mid-2024, rhodium was trading near $5,000 an ounce. Platinum was over $1,000, and palladium was still several hundred per ounce. Even a few grams add up fast, and the thief doesn't need to refine it. They sell the part into a chain that does the dirty work. Typical scrap prices can be $50 to $250 for a regular converter, but hybrids, especially certain models, can fetch much more. In peak times, some converters went for $800 to $100 a piece, and in 2021, many top units sold for over $1,000. Even used converters hold their metal value. That's why the demand doesn't fade. I've verified these ranges against industry sources and pricing data. The point is simple. A small box under your car can be worth hundreds on the spot. If that's the payday, the next logical question is this. Can thieves really grab it that fast? And how do they get away without anyone noticing? Let's look at the method. How fast do these thieves actually work? Quicker than most people think. With a basic reciprocating saw or an angle grinder, even an untrained person can cut out a converter in under 2 minutes. Some hits take as little as 30 seconds. Many thieves finish the job in less than 5 minutes tops. They don't need to open your doors or pop your hood. They slide underneath, make 2 quick cuts, and they're gone. Trucks and SUVs are especially tempting because the higher ground clearance makes it easy to reach the exhaust. Here's another problem. Converters usually don't have unique VIN markings, so even when police recover a load of used units, it's hard to prove which car they came from. By the time you learn anything, usually when your car roars awake and your check engine light is glaring, the converter is already resold or scrapped. I was at a shop last week and saw a crossover come in with cut oxygen sensor wires and a nicked fuel line. The quick cut did more damage than the part alone. One crime bureau leader put it bluntly, they can remove it in just a few minutes. If it's that easy, the bigger question is, where do the stolen parts go next? And who's getting paid? So after they're cut off, where do these converters go? They flow into a black market pipeline that runs through local buyers, middlemen, smelters, and refineries, here and overseas. That multi-step chain gives thieves cover and makes the parts nearly untraceable. Investigations describe loads of used converters piling up at warehouses or scrap yards before the precious metals are extracted. In 2022, the Department of Justice dismantled a ring worth roughly $545 million across multiple states. That gives you a sense of how lucrative this trade became. Reporters and agents have described scenes where hundreds of converters were stacked like cordwood. And remember, legitimate-looking buyers can claim they were taken off junked cars. That plausible deniability slows enforcement. I went through DOJ case summaries and national reports, and a pattern shows up again and again. By the time a victim discovers the theft, the converter is already sold, crushed, or melted. That's why arrests may feel rare to everyday drivers. If there's a big machine buying these parts, then thieves will keep hunting for certain easy targets. Which places get hit hardest, and which cars do they want most? Let's zero in on the hotspots and the models at risk. Are certain cars or areas paying the biggest price? Yes. California leads the charts with nearly 7,000 converter thefts reported early in 2023. Texas, Illinois, New Jersey, and New York also report thousands. Any dense metro area is a target zone because there are many cars and plenty of resale options. As for vehicles, taller rides are easy pickings. Think Ford F-150, Toyota Tacoma, Honda CR-V, and Chevy Equinox. The ground clearance lets thieves slide under and cut fast. Hybrids are a special prize. Models like the Toyota Prius use more of those precious metals in the converter, so they fetch higher scrap values, and there are a lot of them. Over 2 million Priuses have been sold in the US, so there's both high value and high volume. Newer designs that tuck the converter up near the engine are harder to reach, so older trucks, SUVs, and popular hybrids get most of the heat. You're watching Recall Roadmap with Morgan. If this helps you protect your ride, hit subscribe for weekly, safety-first breakdowns and simple steps that work. Now that we know who gets targeted, let's talk about what it actually does to your wallet and your car when a converter disappears. If it happens to you, what's the fallout? First, the sound. When a converter is gone, the car is deafening on startup, like a roaring jet with the exhaust wide open. You'll likely see a check engine light and feel poor performance. For most drivers, the car is not practical to use until it's fixed. Now, the money part. Replacing a stolen converter commonly costs $1,000 to $3,500, or more, depending on the vehicle. Many owners pay above $2,000 once parts and labor are added, and thieves often do extra damage during the cut. Oxygen sensor wires, heat shields, even fuel or brake lines can get nicked, so the bill climbs. Comprehensive insurance can help, but you'll still face a deductible and possible premium changes. Plus, parts can be back-ordered, so you may be waiting weeks and paying for a rental or rides. NICB's leadership summed it up well. The theft might take minutes, but for owners, the cost is much more than replacement parts. If this ever hits you, report it to police and your insurer right away, and get the car inspected safely. Given the pain, it's fair to ask, what are lawmakers and automakers doing to stop this, and is it working? So what are authorities doing to fight this? And is it working? We're seeing action on several fronts. Federally, proposals like the PART Act would require every converter to carry a unique ID tied to the vehicle. That would help police trace stolen parts. In the states, there's been a wave of bills, dozens across nearly 40 states, requiring recyclers to log each purchase. Verify sellers and pay by check rather than cash. California, for example, tightened rules so yards must keep detailed records and proof of sale. Some states also raised penalties for buying or selling stolen converters. On the industry side, automakers are redesigning systems so converters sit higher and deeper near the engine block, where it's hotter and harder to reach. Aftermarket shops add welds, shields, and cages that slow thieves down. Is it working? Early signs say yes. One major insurer reported converter claims dropped about 74% in early 2024, compared with the same period in 2023. Falling metal prices and targeted enforcement help too. I dug through legislative trackers and automaker updates, and it's clear progress is real but not perfect. Which brings us to the most important piece. What can you do tonight to lower your risk? What can you do right now to avoid this? Start with where you park. A locked garage is best. If you park outside, choose a well-lit spot near doors, cameras, or steady foot traffic. Thieves hate witnesses. Next, add obstacles. A catalytic converter shield or cage bolts around the unit and makes cutting slow and noisy. Motion detection lights or a simple undercar vibration alarm can scare off someone who's testing your vehicle. Mark your converter. Etching your VIN onto the housing won't physically stop a theft, but it can make the part traceable and less attractive to legitimate recyclers. Keep a record of your VIN and plate too. Stay alert. If you notice fresh cuts, a hanging O2 sensor wire, or new exhaust noise, get it checked fast. Talk with neighbors and share alerts in your building or block. Awareness spreads fast and can stop repeat hits on the same street. None of this is heavy or expensive compared with a multi-$1,000 repair. Think in layers. Better parking, visible deterrence, and a shield. Put 2 or 3 layers in place and you've already lowered your odds. Quick wrap-up next, and one more reminder to stay a step ahead. Now that you know the facts, how will you protect yourself? We've seen why catalytic converters became a gold rush. Precious metals worth hundreds per part. How thieves can cut and run in minutes. Where those parts go, which cars get hit most, and what it costs owners. The good news: stronger laws, better tracking, and smarter designs are working. Insurance data shows converter claims are down sharply in early 2024, even if totals are still higher than pre-2019. Looking ahead, electric vehicles don't have exhaust systems at all, so this problem fades as EVs grow. But for now, your best defense is simple. Choose smart parking, add a shield or alarm, and mark your converter. If this helped, please subscribe for more of my deep-researched, safety-first breakdowns. I'm Morgan Lane, and my goal is to give you clear facts and real peace of mind so you can keep your car and your budget safe. Thanks for watching. Final question for you. What protective step will you try first? Parking changes, a shield, or a VIN etching? Share your plan below and let's help each other stay safe out there.